One time we got to give it up, you know what I mean, to the Most High. You know what I mean? Got to give it up to the Most High. All right, got to. It's a must. It's a must. That eternal spiritual father. You know what I'm saying? We rose this morning. Um, Trolls only God and your mama can love you. One time, yeah. Y'all knew it was coming. One time, there it go again. This thing is getting big, man. It's getting deep. It's getting deep. So, yesterday we didn't even make it fully through the content that I was using to kind of explain my position and my awareness on Christianity and religion. Things got deep. You know, it got deep. And me and Brother Gotti, man, we had to humble the crowd through knowledge though, through knowledge. And there were lots of people who were saying they didn't know these things. So there's people who come in to learn, and there's people who come in to be a disturbance. Either way, as long as we're taking away food for thought, I'm okay with any way you lean, you know, because what's for me may not be for you. With that being said, what an amazing day it was. Record breaking long. We streamed for 12 hours straight from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., y'all. And it was dynamic. The numbers were amazing. You know, the moderators were just simply magnificent. The knowledge that was shared yesterday was just unbelievable. Unbelievable. So we're growing and we're learning and we're aspiring and inspiring, which is a great thing. I know it's early. I'm gonna wait for some of my moderators and some of my early birds to get up to get the worm with me, and we'll get started with our content for today. We'll get started. Some are gonna agree, some are not gonna agree, but you can't change history. And I call this stuff history simply because it's documented. Simply because it's documented. That picture you took on your vacation last year, that was history. Yeah. So as long as it's documented, it's history. It's proof of, it's evidence, it's what we call receipts in the world of social media. So today the content that we're going to be covering is the second part of the content from yesterday when I was saying that they broke Christianity up into like 2 or 3 parts, y'all. I know of two major parts. I'm looking into a third, a possible third, but I know definitely of two. All right, definitively, there's two. Whew. It's going to be a lot to swallow. And I understand a lot of people have given their time, given their faith, given their life to their religious belief. But do you understand that the social construct of religion is meant to actually empower you? As long as you're giving that power back to someone else, you're always going to need someone to empower you. So, come on, Psychology 101. When do we get back to empowering us? When do we get back to acknowledging our struggle, our breakthroughs, our victory? When do we, the strength of mind, y'all. You know what I'm saying? The strength of mind. The strength of mind. Good morning, Grand Rising, Boiling Frog. Grand Rising, Boiling Frog. You know, glad to see you well. Glad to see you well. Um, but some people can have such a strong mind and do incredible things, amazing things, overwhelmingly successful things that even they couldn't fathom or imagine that they were capable of. Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good, Boiling Frog. I appreciate you asking. And these people somehow are programmed. I mean, I understand being humble. I understand being modest. I understand being selfless rather than selfish. But there comes a point in time where you've come through a struggle And you had to go through that struggle. You wore the good and the bad of that struggle. And you fought through it. And you found your strength. And you reestablished yourself. And you found your confidence. And you found your will. And you found your motivation. You found your inspiration. And let's say you became so great, so big. You know, let's say you started owning Fortune 500 companies. You know, do we give that to someone do we give that thanks to someone we were programmed to give it to? Or do we admit and accept our struggle and thank the God inside of us that we were strong enough to empower ourselves to get up from the woe is me state of mind and to make something happen for ourselves? That true empowerment. Sometimes you have to pat yourself on your back, give yourself your flowers, you know. And in no way, shape, or form has anyone heard me say that I don't believe in a higher power or I don't believe a higher power exists. You notice I'm saying Christianity. Christianity, because they created a certain God. You know, they created a certain image. They created a certain indoctrination. You know, and it's not right. It's not right. I will say it again. It is not right. I gotta hit my cappuccino, y'all. Love me some cappuccino first thing in the morning. So the first thing we have to do is learn to recondition our minds. Sometimes accepting the truth or just accepting change, it's not easy. Understanding that you've been programmed and you being not willing to deprogram and reprogram with the truth, that's a problem. That's a problem in your mental capacity, and that's the level of your indoctrination. You know, there are some people who walk that walk just completely out of fear, but they've always wondered. They've always had thoughts in the back of their minds. Those are usually your people being called to do the things that I do. Those are usually your conscious people. Those are usually your people who have nothing to do but ask questions, and you sit around all day and you do the research and you find out, wow. And then it becomes too much to hold in and you want to share it. But then you learn that everybody can't handle the truth. Everyone's not built for it. You know, everyone's not built for it. Everyone is not built to handle the truth. But it's like the more you learn, the more you want to share. But the more you share, the more you find out that people are just brainwashed and indoctrinated and stuck in their ways. And that's why the world is so redundant with the things that we see and the things that we go through. It's reoccurring issues. I want to get into this content. I was trying to wait on some moderators. So I'm going to sit tight and see what happens here. I'm going to wait on my moderators to come in, y'all. I'm going to wait on my moderators. So this is the second part, astrology. And believe it or not, this plays just as big of a role in Christianity as the Council of Nicaea 325 AD. Astrology, the study of the stars. This is the second part to what we were discussing yesterday. So you may hear some things from yesterday reiterated in this live from time to time, but this is how everything fits in to the making and the design of Christianity. I'm still going to wait for some moderators to get in here before I get this thing started. Patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. As you come in, say good morning and let me know what your temperatures are. Don't say good morning, say grand rising. And let me know what your temp is where you stay. You know what I'm saying? What's your temperature where you laying your head at? How cold is it outside? I saw ice on cars down here, and that's unusual. So it's pretty darn cold down here. So we can't always be so quick. We can't always be so quick to accept everything that we were taught to be the truth. Sometimes we have to look at the bigger picture. The people who taught us knew no better, so they're only passing on what they learned. We can't fault them. You know what I'm saying? We can't fault them. Kip 2, what's up? What's up? What's up? All right, the topic is this. This is a part 2 from yesterday. Part 2 from yesterday. As y'all come in, moderators, please, thank you. Remember to hit that like button. Let's get it popping. If you guys come in and you hit that like button, then it's going to start pushing it live. I've been waiting on you guys patiently. You know what I'm saying? The topic of the day is part 2 from yesterday. What you didn't know about Christianity. This is part 2. This is part 2. We never made it to part 2 yesterday. We got stuck on the Council of Nicaea, remember? And I kept telling you there were 2 components. This is the second component. So moderators, just like yesterday, I'm going to need y'all to be amazing and on point, because everyone's not going to take this well. Everyone's not going to take this well. So shout out to Kip 234, shout out to Hoof Hard, shout out to Calvin Hilltop, shout out to FBA Kush Boy 4204. You know what I mean? Hey, wait a minute now. I see 4 moderators and only 2 likes. Come on, moderators. We got to lead by example, please. Come on, moderators. Come on, moderators. Moderators, let's push that like button, please. I see 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 moderators. Okay, there's 1 more moderator, please. The same thing I ask of people who come in. You know, I expect my moderators to lead by example. You know, I expect you to lead by example. All right, so here we go. We're going to get into this. So, yesterday we learned that Constantine, Grand Rising, Too Genuine for you. What's up, Too Genuine? You know, as we come in, kings and queens, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I'm saying, brothers and sisters, let's remember to hit that like button. But yesterday we learned that the Council of Nicaea wrote Jesus into divinity as God's son in 325 AD under the rule of Constantine. All right, everyone didn't take that well. And I kept telling people there were 2 components to the social construct and the making of Christianity. So one was actually writing it into law so that there was no more doubt. And they burned everything else before that didn't contain Jesus as God's son, so that no one had any proof. Remember, no evidence, no argument. Where today, I'm going to introduce you to the second component, which is astrology. And yesterday, I remember, where is he? Kip 2 was touching on this yesterday. Kip 234 was touching on this yesterday. And FBA Kush Boy touched on it yesterday. So here we go, y'all. This is, I can't pronounce this. Y'all know black people can't talk. Zeitgeist, Zeitgeist, religion. Let's check this out.
Folks, I gotta tell you the truth. When it comes to bullshit, big time, major league bullshit, you have to stand in awe of the all-time champion of false promises and exaggerated claims, religion. Think about it. Religion has actually convinced people that there's an invisible man living in the sky who watches everything you do every minute of every day. And the invisible man has a special list of 10 things he does not want you to do. And if you do any of these 10 things, he has a special place full of fire and smoke and burning and torture and anger, where he will send you to live and suffer and burn and choke and scream and cry forever and ever till the end of time. but he loves you. He loves you and he needs money. He always needs money. He's all powerful, all perfect, all knowing, and all wise. Somehow just can't handle money. Religion takes in billions of dollars. They pay no taxes, and they always need a little more. Now, you talk about a good bullshit story. Holy shit.
Can we hear it, ladies and gentlemen? Can we hear it okay? So today we're breaking down how astrology, the study of the stars, constellations, and all of that plays a role in Christianity as well. These are your designs for Easter, Christmas, a majority of the things that this country has taught you to celebrate and accept with the Christian faith. This is how a lot of these things were constructed and engineered. So yesterday we studied the law of. Okay. Today we're studying the science of. Let me know if y'all can hear this, please. So this is part one, the greatest story ever told. Can we hear it?
This is the sun. As far back as 10,000 BC, history is abundant with carvings and writings reflecting people's respect and adoration for this object. And it is simple to understand why, as every morning the sun would rise, bringing vision, warmth, and security, saving man from the cold, blind, predator-filled darkness of night. Without it, the cultures understood the crops would not grow and life on the planet would not survive. These realities made the sun the most adored object of all time. Likewise, they were also very aware of the stars. The tracking of the stars allowed them to recognize and anticipate events which occurred over long periods of time, such as eclipses and full moons. They in turn cataloged celestial groups into what we know today as constellations. This is the cross of the zodiac, one of the oldest conceptual images in human history. It reflects...
I need y'all to remember that. Because all you have to do right now, how you see most pictures of Jesus, all you have to do right now is remove those zodiac signs and place Jesus there and put this... Come on, don't do this right now. No updates. No updates. You're supposed to have been update. Not now. Not now. I tried to do that first thing this morning. We'll handle that later on. Okay? But you see the cross and you see the sun and its rays built into that. All you have to do is remove the zodiac sign and put Jesus in front of that, and those are your pictures of Jesus you always see. That's symbolism. Today we're going to learn why. Today we're going to learn why. Today we're going to learn why. I promise my computer better not update right now. Let's go.
The sun, as it figuratively passes through the 12 major constellations over the course of a year. It also reflects the 12 months of the year, the 4 seasons, and the solstices and equinoxes. The term zodiac relates to the fact that constellations were anthropomorphized, or personified, as figures or animals. In other words, the early civilizations did not just follow the sun and stars, they personified them with elaborate myths involving their movements and relationships. The sun, with its life-giving and saving qualities, was personified as a representative of the unseen creator or God, God's Son, the light of the world, the savior of humankind. Likewise, the 12 constellations represented places of travel for God's Son, and were identified by names, usually representing elements of nature that happened during that period of time. For example, Aquarius, the water bearer, who brings the spring rains. This is Horus. He is the sun god of Egypt of around 3000 BC. He is the sun anthropomorphized, and his life is a series of allegorical myths involving the sun's movement in the sky. From the ancient hieroglyphics in Egypt, we know much about this solar messiah. For instance, Horus, being the sun or the light,
Salute, salute. One time. We gonna get it today, man. Y'all ready to cook, man? Y'all ready to cook? What's up, Corey? What's up? What's up, Sinner? What's up, Sinner? Y'all ready to cook? Today, here's the second part of yesterday, y'all. Part two. Part two. You know, are we ready? Are we ready? Hey, let's cook, but I need to see that like button moving, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday, we did 12 hours and had almost 13,000 people, y'all. So congratulations to everyone who was a part of yesterday. That was big. That is a record for the lives, y'all. That's a record. That's a record. You know, the most views I've ever gotten on videos were 20,000 and 17,600. So for live yesterday, that was the biggest I've ever had for views. You know, and thank you to everyone who took part of that yesterday, because it was colossal and we made magic. And listen, we made history happen, and we put the intellect and the knowledge out there, y'all. We put everybody on notice yesterday that this is a movement. This is a tribe. It's a family. We gonna stand together. We're unified. You know, so thank you to the conscious community, man. Thank you to all the kings and queens, brothers and sisters, and it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. You know what I mean? It is my pleasure to be a part of all of you, all of your lives. You know what I'm saying? To be a part of your personal day. You know what I mean? But it was magic in the making. Right. See? All right. Kale is ready to cook. Kale is ready to cook. Kale's like 12 tribes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into all of that. But I really want to give y'all your credit, man. Yes, we streamed for 12 hours straight yesterday, uninterrupted, and had something like 12,700 plus people. Even the comments were just, wow. Moderators were on it yesterday. So thank you to the moderators. You know, thank you. We ready for this, y'all? We ready for this? Let's get into it.
an enemy known as Set, and Set was the personification of the darkness or night. And, metaphorically speaking, every morning Horus would win the battle against Set, while in the evening Set would conquer Horus and send him into the underworld. It is important to note that dark versus light, or good versus evil, is one of the most ubiquitous mythological dualities ever known, and is still expressed on many levels to this day.
What's up,
Broadly
Kathy?
speaking, the story of Horus is as follows. Horus was born on December 25th of the Virgin Isis Mary. His birth was accompanied by a star in the east, and upon his birth he was adored by 3 kings. At the age of 12, he was a prodigal child teacher, and at the age of 30, he was baptized by a figure known as Anup,
It's
who
not
began
debunked.
his ministry. Horus had 12 disciples he traveled about with, performing miracles
Nice
such
try,
as
though.
healing the sick and walking on water. Horus was no
One thing you can't do is debunk science. So you're probably a Christian, and I'm not going to slander you. I'm not even going to get out of character, you know, but you can't debunk history. Joe Rogan is everywhere. Joe Rogan does not stick to one study. Joe Rogan goes anywhere the views go and the clicks go and the money go and the algorithm goes. Joe Rogan. Racist Joe Rogan. Come on, man. Come on, man. You can't debunk science. You can't debunk science. You can't. You're just upset because it was put out there, but let's go. Let's go.
known by many gestural names such as the Truth, the Light, God's Anointed Son, the Good Shepherd, the Lamb of God, and many others. After being betrayed by Typhon, Horus was crucified, buried for 3 days, and thus resurrected.
I'm going to show y'all how these people work. I'm going to show y'all. Now, he said this was debunked years ago, correct? But do y'all hear the gods that they're naming? And he said Zeitgeist was debunked years ago. Watch this. See, one thing you can't do is lie on history. One thing you can't do is debunk history. Once it's out there, it's out there. Okay. He said Zeitgeist was debunked years ago. You know what I'm saying? What up, FBA Convo? So watch this. The same people and the same knowledge that they're giving you about astrology, those same gods from those countries still existed. So you can't debunk it. So you debunk Zeitgeist, you're going to debunk Kersey Graves as well. This isn't Zeitgeist. You can't debunk history, dude. You can't. Now watch this. It's funny that those same gods that he's naming, this is two different contents, y'all. Two different contexts here. It's funny that the same history, and everyone knows about Osiris and Horus and Mithra. You can't debunk that. You can't debunk that. You're gonna be on your way out of here early, boy. You lucky Gotti ain't here. Gotti if you done got a body. Gotti wouldn't be wasting his time. But I like to try to at least communicate with people, man. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of y'all Christians, y'all hard-headed, man. I can't talk to y'all. Don't even waste my time. I just passed it. I don't even waste my time. I just passed it. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Here we go. All right. So we heard them mention Horus, Osiris, all of that, right? So, and I showed y'all the title of this book, right? Right? How can you debunk it when those same gods are listed right there? And this isn't Zeitgeist. So get your truth-hating soul up out of here, man. I'll do it for you. We ain't got time for it today. But I'm going to time you out in case you just want to come back and act right. You know what I mean? I'm going to time you out. You might want to come back and not right. I'll give you 30 minutes. You might want to come back and get the truth in 30 more minutes. You know what I mean? I don't never just stick to one source, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? Let's go.
These attributes of Horus, whether original or not, seem to permeate many cultures of the world, for many other gods are found to have the same general mythological structure. Attis of Phrygia, born of the Virgin Nana on December 25th, crucified, placed in a tomb, and after 3 days was resurrected. Krishna of India, born of the Virgin Devaki, with a star in the east signaling his coming. He performed miracles with his disciples, and upon his death was resurrected.
And that's India.
Dionysius of Greece, born of a virgin on December 25th, was a traveling teacher who performed miracles such as turning water into wine. He was referred to as the King of Kings, God's only begotten Son, the Alpha and Omega, and many others. And upon his death, he was resurrected. Mithra of Persia, born of a virgin on December 25th, he had 12 disciples and performed miracles, and upon his death was buried for 3 days and thus resurrected. He was also referred to as the Truth, the Light, and many others. Interestingly, the sacred day of worship of Mithra was Sunday. The fact of the matter is, there are numerous saviors from different periods from all over the world which subscribe to these general characteristics. The question remains, why these attributes? Why the virgin birth on December 25th? Why dead for 3 days and the inevitable resurrection? Why 12 disciples or followers?
Do y'all notice that the dates to Easter will change? But the date, that December 25th, is never modified? You've never wondered why that's never changed? But they'll change Easter before they change Christmas. Excuse me. December 20th. You've never wondered why? You've never wondered about the 3 wise men? Chat, can I ask permission? I would be in our AM trying to fix electricity cables and having a hard time. A lot of the winners. You know, do your thing, Kipto. You know, Kip too. You got to. Hey, it's real life, man. You're living a real life, bro. You got to make time for this. You know what I mean? You got to make time for a life. I appreciate your loyalty and your dedication, but you know what I'm saying? You got to put your life first, homie. You know what I mean? You got to put your life first, your life and your well-being, man. You know? It's probably cold where you at, man. Do whatever you need to do. Get warmed up, man. We don't want you to freeze. You know what I mean? We don't want you to freeze. Let's get to it.
To find out, let's examine the most recent of the solar messiahs. Jesus Christ was born of the Virgin Mary on December 25th in Bethlehem. His birth was announced by a star in the east, which 3 kings or magi followed to locate and adorn the new Savior. He was a child teacher at 12. At the age of 30, he was baptized by John the Baptist, and thus began his ministry. Jesus had 12 disciples, which he traveled about with, performing miracles such as healing the sick, walking on water, raising the dead. He was also known as the King of Kings, the Son of God, the Light of the World, the Alpha and Omega, the Lamb of God, and many, many others. After being betrayed by his disciple Judas and sold for 30 pieces of silver, he was crucified, placed in the tomb, and after 3 days was resurrected and ascended into heaven. First of all, the birth sequence is completely astrological.
Let's see. Y'all's on. Listen, I don't know what that is. Yawson. Come on, man. We got to get some better names, man. Y'all gonna have me looking like I'm illiterate here trying to read these names. What is that? Y'all son. I'm from the South. I can put that together. Y'all son. Hey, y'all son. You. Hey, you smart. Knowing is half of the battle. You know what I'm saying? What up with your Frank? Mr. Financial Frank. Mr. Financial Frank. Let's go.
The star in the east is Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky, which, on December 24th, aligns with the 3 brightest stars in Orion's belt. These 3 bright stars in Orion's belt are called today what they were called in ancient times, the 3 kings. And
right there, good talking point. Those stars, come on, man, we got to get this. Right there. Those 3 stars aligned are called the 3 kings. What showed up to Jesus in the manger? The 3 kings. The 3 kings. Come on, you can't debunk this because it's built off of astrology and it's written into law under Constantine. Those are the 2 major components. You add racism to it and the slavery that was behind it, and you've got your genetic makeup of Christianity. All right, what's up with you, Cardenas? What's up with you? Oh man, Detroit, it's got to be cold up there, man. What's your temperature? What's your temperature, Cardenas? Cardenas. What's up with you, Miss? What's that, Miss Keikos? Okay, Miss Keikos. What's up with you, Miss Keikos? Let's get it. 7 degrees, and you still there? Don't you rather be here where it's 40 at, man? You need to come to Florida, man. It's like 40 outside. That's still cold to us, but it's a lot better than 7 degrees, man. It's a lot better than 7. You know what I mean? All right. There go Holy Zoly Toly. Holy Zoly Toly. What's up with you? Salute Grand Rising, man. One time to everybody, man. Realize coming in here, you have to be able to think outside of the box. You have to be somewhat conscious, all right, and inquisitive to rock with me and to understand what's going on here. All right, just got hit in the snow. Oh, be careful, Frank. You know what I mean? Be careful, man. Be careful. Drive safe. But you have to have an open mind. You have to be able to think outside of the box. You have to be curious. So I only resonate with people who are not afraid to doubt. I only resonate with people who don't live their life in fear. All right? People who want the truth. So are you saying the Bible that doesn't allow slavery was invented to promote slavery? Please make that make sense. Here we go again. Slavery is all through the Bible. The very first Bible was called the Negro Slave Bible. If we're going to have these discussions, I need you to be accurate and approximate in your history before you just come in here defending the religion itself and knowing nothing about the history and the origin of it. All you can do is quote Bible verses. That's all you know. You've never studied the history. You know what I mean? So let's not go there. That's why I say to rock with me, you have to have an open mind. An open mind, Snoop Cat. What's up with your pimping? You know what I'm saying? You got to have an open mind. All right? So salute to everybody. Not here to trample on your religious, faith-based system. You know what I mean? None of that, though. But I am here to give you truths. And it's funny y'all coming here with the Snoop Cat. Y'all know I be waiting on y'all, right? Y'all know he always close. I don't know why y'all be coming here playing with me, man. I don't know why y'all coming here playing with me, man. Y'all know Snoop is always on the scene, man. Y'all know he always on the scene, man. Stop playing with me, man. I'm gonna get Snoop a fedora. Yeah. I'm gonna get Snoop a fedora. Y'all better stop playing with me, man. Go hit y'all Snoop Cat jokes, man. Y'all know Snoop is on the scene, man. You know what I'm saying? For shizzle, my nizzle. Y'all know he on the scene. Stop playing. All right. Hey, they say had a feeling. You done been here before. You done saw me do it, huh? All right. Andrew Wright. We don't know why they removed pages. Let's see. Let's start with Johnny Walker because he going after Andrew Wright. And I'm glad the moderator spoke up. Andrew, why would you say the Bible doesn't allow slavery? Go read it again, bro. Exactly. These are people who've never read the whole Bible. Their pastor starts Sunday off by reading 3 or 4 passages and picking, you know what I'm saying, which passages they're going to preach off of. They've never sat down and read the entire Bible because those things will never be revealed inside of church. Why did they remove the pages? No, the slavery is still in the Bible. What do you mean? Why did they remove the pages? We're not going to do this today. We're going to stay on point. If we have to block you for being a distraction, we will. Or you can sit quiet, stop disturbing the class, and you can learn. But I got some moderators that can handle you. You know what I mean? Let's ride.
3 kings and the brightest star, Sirius, all point to the place of the sunrise on December 25th. This is why the 3 kings follow the star in the east in order to locate the sunrise, the birth of the sun. The Virgin Mary is the constellation Virgo, also known as Virgo the Virgin. Virgo in Latin means virgin. Virgo is also referred to as the house of bread, and the representation of Virgo is a virgin holding a sheaf of wheat. This house of bread and its symbol of wheat represents August and September, the time of harvest. In turn, Bethlehem, in fact, literally translates to house of bread. Bethlehem is thus a reference to the constellation Virgo, a place in the sky.
Another good stopping point. We covered the 3 kings, right? Constellations. We know the 3 kings showed up to the manger upon the birth of Jesus Christ. Now we also know that Mary and Virgo represent each other. All right? It represents each other. Virgo is the virgin. Mary was a virgin. All right? Bread. Jesus did what? Fed multitudes with what? Bread and fish. What signs represent Jesus? Fish. What signs represent Mary? Virgo the virgin. Bread. We just learned about the 3 kings. It's astrology. They had to write it in the law under the Council of Nicaea, right Orion's belt. You're right on point, Holy Zoly Toly. 3 wise men, Orion's belt. Yes. 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 You own it. You own it. See, it's easier talking to people who know rather than talking to people who's a virgin to knowledge and intellect, who's not programmed to think outside of what they were taught to not doubt. I'm going to doubt everything. I can be married and I'm going to still doubt if my wife really loved me that much. You know what I mean? Hey, Hey, call me Thomas Didymus. Pull that shirt up and let me see them scars. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we gonna get into that holy zoly toly. We gonna get into that. Let's go.
Not on Earth. There's another very interesting phenomenon that occurs around December 25th. Or
Listen to this.
From the summer solstice to the winter solstice, the days become shorter and colder. And from the perspective of the northern hemisphere, the sun appears to move south and get smaller and more scarce. The shortening of the days and the expiration of the crops when approaching the winter solstice symbolize the process of death to the ancients. It was the death of the sun. And by December 22nd, the sun's demise was fully realized. For the sun, having moved south continually for 6 months, makes it to its lowest point in the sky. Here a curious thing occurs. The sun stops moving south, at least perceivably, for 3 days. And during this 3-day pause, the sun resides in the vicinity of the Southern Cross, or Crux, constellation. And after this time, on December 25th, the sun moves 1 degree, this time north, foreshadowing longer days, warmth, and spring. And thus it was said, the sun died on the cross, was dead for 3 days, only to be resurrected or born again. This is why Jesus and numerous other sun gods share the crucifixion, 3-day death, and resurrection concept. It is the sun's transition period before it shifts its direction back into the northern hemisphere, bringing spring and thus salvation.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Is this too much? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is this too much? Is this too much, ladies and gentlemen? Does this not make sense? Does this not make sense? Does it not? How can it not? You know what I mean? This is too much. Holy zoly toly, you know about this, don't you? You know about this, don't you? This is old news to you. You probably went many days trying to convince people of the same thing and you just got tired. You know what I'm saying? And the springtime is the real new. There it is. We just discussed that yesterday. Yes, we did. We actually have 1 more month left until New Year's. Yes, you are correct. You are correct. Holy Zoly Toly already knew you knew all about it. Already knew. As we come in, ladies and gentlemen, let's hit that like button. Because we spit knowledge and facts here. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's thoughts are at least, everyone's opinion is at least food for thought. As long as you're not outrageous and being ignorant and stuff like that, closed-minded, you know what I'm saying? We rock with almost everybody. But we do tell the truth over here. The truth can sting a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Truth can sting a little bit. Andrew, is that the same Andrew Wright? That can't be the same Andrew Wright. Son is an English word. It doesn't matter. You still took the English word and turned it to another English word. You took the S-U-N and turned it to the S-O-N. They use all types of cultures and religions to put this thing together, man. So it wouldn't surprise me if it had a little bit of a little English little remix on it either. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. It wouldn't surprise me at all. And while we at it, I told y'all yesterday that they be scrubbing Google and stuff, right? And if you Google the real definition of the word Christian, what you would come up with, see, they scrubbed it, but I want y'all to know I had it saved, right? I had it saved, right? All I did was Google what is the real meaning of the word Christian. I want y'all to see that. And I want y'all to read the last line. I want to hold it close. Read the last 2 lines. All right, so I'm going to read that to you in case that was a little blurry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to read it to you. The Greek word Christianos, meaning follower of Christ, comes from Christos, meaning anointed one, with an adjectival ending borrowed from the Latin to denote adhering to or even belonging to, as in slave ownership. Black people, let me ask you again. When you hear this white nation saying they want to restore their Christian values, what the hell does that have to do with you? What slave have you owned? Who had something to do with slavery? Huh? denote, borrowed from Latin to denote adhering to or even belonging to, as in slave ownership. Do y'all really know what you're subscribing to? And you wonder how the KKK is still a Christian group? How are you subscribing to this stuff? Just like in America, we celebrate some holidays on every third Monday of a month. These devils study astrology to manifest. Yes, yes, Cardenius. Yes, 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 Andrew. Yes, it does. The sun, S-U-N, you are trying to tie it in. No, I didn't tie it in. I didn't tie it in. Your people tied it in. Your people tied it in. They just didn't expect us to know about it, to catch on to it. Your people tied it in, not us. You plagiarize all these religions. See, you just want to start with the sun. What about all these other gods we just showed you from all these other countries who had the same birthdays, who were all born of virgins, who were all deceived for the same amount of silver, who started their ministry around the same age, who... Come on. Come on, don't just stop at the sun. You know what I'm saying? Don't just stop at the sun. There's other factors. There's other factors.
However, they did not celebrate the resurrection.
We got a commercial.
Sometimes
Excuse
life
me. We
be
got a
little
commercial.
Messy.
No need for a commercial. Not right now. Not right now.
Action of the sun until the spring equinox, or Easter. This is because at the spring equinox, the sun officially overpowers the evil darkness, as daytime thereafter becomes longer in duration than the night.
And that is why the dates to Easter always change, because they have to make sure it coincides with that spring equinox. So if you've ever wondered why Easter can be in March and April, they are coordinating it with that spring equinox. That spring equinox. Real talk. That's what they're doing. That's why the dates always change. I asked y'all earlier, have you ever wondered why Christmas stays the same, December 25th, but Easter always changes? We're talking about a celestial calendar here. We're still talking astrology here. That spring equinox. That spring equinox. Easter. But if the story of Jesus was true, why does the date that he rose every spring seems to change? Because it is coordinated with the spring equinox, astrology, science, the study of the stars. You can't debunk it. You can't. Right. His birthday was said to be in March or April if he was actually right. And it was a given date. It was a given date. You finally told the truth about something. You know what I'm saying? December 25th was also written into law under Constantine, the Council of Nicaea, 325 AD. So you finally told the truth about something, Andrew, right? All right. Billy Valentine. Words cast spells even if the spelling is different. Thank you. I'll take that too. I'll take that on my behalf. Let's ride.
And the revitalizing conditions of spring emerge. Now, probably the most obvious of all the astrological symbolism around Jesus regards the 12 disciples. They are simply the 12 constellations of the zodiac, which Jesus, being the sun, travels about with. In fact, the number 12 is replete throughout the Bible. Coming back to the cross of the zodiac, the figurative life of the sun, this was not just an artistic expression or tool to track the sun's movement. It was also a pagan spiritual symbol, the shorthand of which looked like this. This is not a symbol of Christianity. It is a pagan adaptation of the cross of the zodiac.
Can't refute it. Can't refute it. The guy said it was debunked years ago. How you debunking that when they're showing you proof? Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have seen this symbolism. Y'all have seen this symbolism. So if you've ever wondered why the fish represents Jesus on the back of a car, you know that right now we're in the age of, let me get it right. We're in the age of Pisces. Pisces is a fish. All right. We're moving into the age of Aquarius come 2150, 2150. Every 2,150 years, we move into another age, another eon, as the Bible would say when it talks about the reflection of time, eons. All right. So moving into Aquarius in 2150, there's going to be that sign on the zodiac is a woman pouring out a pitcher of water. No fish can live outside of water. So they're doing away with the whole Jesus faith anyways right before your eyes, and you don't even understand what's going on. All right? You don't even understand what's going on. It's all symbolism. It's all constellations. Everything moves in reverse when it comes to how they're using this. And the zodiacs. Pluto moved to Aquarius, thus making it the age of Aquarius. We're not quite into the age of Aquarius yet. We're moving into the age of Aquarius come 2150. Every 2,150 years, we move into another age. So we're headed into the age of Aquarius. It's said to be year 2150. We won't be here, but it's said to happen in 2150. And that's that woman pouring out the pitcher of water. No fish can live outside of water. Jesus was a fish. They were fishermen. He broke fish. Mary was a virgin. That's Virgo. She represents bread. Bethlehem is translated house of bread. Jesus broke bread and fish. You know what I'm saying? Let's make it easy for the people in the chat. First, understand the alphabet, then let's understand the language. Let's go slowly, chat. Make sure you got a pen, a note. Let's go together, chat, and hit that thumbs up, you know. Thank you, Holy Zoli Toli. I'm just trying to break it down. The knowledge is out there for anyone and for everyone. You know what I mean? All right, Mick Don 267. I can't when I gave my life to Christ. What I saw and what I felt belonged to him real. Who he is, who he says he is. So you weren't here in yesterday's live to know that Jesus was written into law as God's son, into divinity in 325 AD under the rule of Constantine. Before that, it was Serapis. Remember, soteriology. Remember soter? Do you remember this? You're not familiar with the whole study of why would fish jump over the water to breathe in the first place? Why would fish not just breathe in water? You know, they're using symbolism. The Bible teaches you not to pay attention to horoscopes because they're using your horoscopes to brainwash you with the religion. If you actually did study horoscopes, then you would stumble onto the truth and link two and two together, you know? So that's why they're telling you not to doubt and stay away from the study of horoscopes and things like this. They're keeping you away from the truth. Because if you study those things, you're going to find the truth about your religion and how they weaponized it against you. If you were cheating on someone, would you want them associated with the person that you were cheating on them with? You would keep both of them distant, right? Right? Because one could reveal the truth, right? And this was busy trying to hide the truth, right? Same concept. Same concept. All right, Holy Zoli Toli says, to give God power is to take away from your own will. Power is insanity. Right. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. But we've been programmed that way, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Let's go.
This is why Jesus in early occult art is always shown with his head on the cross. For Jesus is the Son of God, the light of the world, the risen Savior, who will come again, as it does every morning. the glory of God, who defends against the works of darkness, as he is born again every morning, and can be seen coming in the clouds, up in heaven, with his crown of thorns, or sun rays.
With his crown of thorns, or sun
Of the
rays.
many astronomical metaphors in the Bible, one of the most important has to do with the ages. Throughout the scriptures, there are numerous references to the age. In order to understand this, we need to be familiar with a phenomenon known as the precession of the equinoxes. The ancient Egyptians, along with cultures long before them, recognized that approximately every 2150 years, the sunrise on the morning of the spring equinox would occur in a different sign of the zodiac. This has to do with a slow, angular wobble that the Earth maintains as it rotates on its axis. It is called a precession because the constellations go backwards rather than through the normal yearly cycle.
Listen, Andrew, I'm really trying to let you stick around, but you're starting to get on my nerves. Rather than listening, you're stuck on language. It doesn't matter. You're trying to protect something that was designed by astrology and written into law and divinity under the rule of Constantine. Whether or not those words equal up to translate the same way, history, that does not change history. All right? Cardinia says, have anyone noticed most pastors, priests, bishops look down on the study of astrology? This is why. This is why. If you're being investigated, that's like you going to hand the investigator evidence on you about your case yourself. Why would they point you in the right place for you to debunk them? How you doing? How you doing from Russia? How you doing? Oh, you've been here before. How you doing? I can't pronounce none of that. I'm going to just call you, is that a 6? I'm going to just call you 6. I'm going to just call you 6. What's up, 6? What's up, 6 from Russia? All right, Mick Dunn. God has done amazing things for me since that experience touched my heart 2 times. I tell the truth. I fear the Lord. I understand there's a lot I don't understand, but Yeshua came in the flesh. You didn't see Yeshua in the flesh. See, that's mental health. And that goes against the scripture. The Bible says nobody's ever seen him in flesh. And then it goes and says that somebody did. You see, you haven't. See, that's programming. Now, let me tell you what really happened, Mickton. Let me tell you what really happened, right? What really happened is you got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And you got up and you took control of your life. You strengthened your mind. You strengthened everything about you to overcome whatever the hell was holding you down. And you know what? You fought a good fight. And you ran a good race. And you won a good race. And now instead of you giving yourself your flowers for what you accomplished alone, you were programmed to give it to somebody else and look down on you. You were programmed. Truth is, you ain't see Jesus. Jesus ain't push no magic easy button in the sky and do a damn thing for you. You exercised the God in you and got it done for your best interest. That internal higher power inside of you. That power, man. That you acted under your own power. That God in you. You defeated the darkness in you by letting the light inside of you shine in order to do better. That's what happened. It wasn't Jesus. It wasn't Jesus. They preying on your fear. Oh, I really fear the Lord. They want you to fear the Lord. They want you to fear the Lord. They want you to fear the Lord because they're preying on your fear. They're preying on your fear. Most Christians do. Don't you fear the KKK? They preying on fear. They want people to fear them. Don't America prey on Christianity and prey on countries like Venezuela and that? They want people to fear them. Most Christians do. That's what it's designed to do.
The amount of time it takes for the procession to go through all 12 signs
What's up, Sergeant
is roughly
King?
25,765 years. This is also called the Great Year. And ancient societies were very aware of this, and they referred to each 2150-year period as an age. From 4300 BC to 2150 BC, it was the age of Taurus, the bull. From 2150 BC to 1 AD, it was the age of Aries, the ram. And from 1 AD to 2150 AD, it is the age of Pisces, the age we are still in to this day. And in and around 2150, we will enter the new age, the age of Aquarius. Now, the Bible reflects, broadly speaking, a symbolic movement through 3 ages while foreshadowing a 4th. In the Old Testament, when Moses comes down Mount Sinai with the 10 Commandments, he is very upset to see his people worshiping gold.
You're a Pisces. What's your sign? Watch this. This is going to be amazing. You're a Pisces. What's your sign? A fish? A fish? Catholic OG, are you back? Yes, Jesus was Pisces. The sign is a fish. See how this makes sense with astrology? See how this makes sense with astrology? So now what's finna happen is they're gonna do away with Jesus, and now you're gonna get another savior by 2150. And it's going to be age of Aquarius, a woman pouring out water. No fish can live outside of water. Jesus was a fisherman. His disciples were fishermen. Jesus broke fish, broke bread. Virgin Mary, Virgo. She was holding bread. That woman is the Starbucks symbol. Close. Yep. Close. Symbolism. Symbolism. Symbolism.
Bull calf. In fact, he shattered the stone tablets and instructed his people to kill each other in order to purify themselves. Most biblical scholars will attribute this egg.
No, this channel is not astrology. No. This channel is conscious. So we seek the truth. We put the truth out there. We debunk everything, man. We debunk everything. All white lies. You know what I'm saying? Religion we tell the truth about. You know what I'm saying? All kind of stuff, man. All kind of stuff. All kind of stuff.
The fact that the Israelites were worshiping a false idol or something to that effect. The reality is, the golden bull is Taurus, the bull, and Moses represents the new age of Aries, the ram. This is why Jews even today still blow the ram's horn. Moses represents the new age of Aries, and upon the new age, everyone must shed the old age. Other deities mark these transitions as well, such as Mithra, a pre-Christian god who kills the bull in the same symbology. Now Jesus is the figure who ushers in the age following Aries, the age of Pisces, or the 2 fish. Fish symbolism is very abundant in the New Testament. Jesus feeds 5,000 people with bread and 2 fish.
With bread and 2 fish. Virgin Mary, his mother, Virgo, the sign Virgo is a virgin, representation of his mother Mary that was a virgin. Bread, she's holding bread. Jesus is a fish. 5 loaves of bread, 2 fish, y'all. 5 virgins, 2 fish, y'all. 5 virgins, Virgo, Mary. Mary was a virgin. Come on, put it together. 5 virgins, 2 fish. 5 loaves of bread, 2 fish. 2 fish. Symbolism. Astrology, the study of the stars. Let's go.
When he begins his ministry walking along Galilee, he befriends 2 fishermen who follow him. And I think we've all seen the Jesus fish on the back of people's cars. Little do they know what it actually means.
Wake up, people. Let's get those likes up. This is already a lot of knowledge out there. Come on, y'all. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up, man. It's too early in the morning to be so selfish. I'm up early. I'm up early out of my bed. There's so many other things I can be doing. I can actually keep this knowledge to myself and use it just for the betterment of me. But that would be selfish. That would be selfish. You know what I mean? Let's get the likes up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the likes up, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. I'm up out of my bed early, every morning, same time, on the grind, giving y'all these facts. I streamed for 12 hours straight yesterday, no break. Didn't eat breakfast, lunch, no nothing, man. And we broke a record yesterday. Had over 12,700 people come through here yesterday, man. Picked up 100+ subscribers yesterday for putting the truth out there and waking people up. So I want to thank everyone who was a part of yesterday in a positive way. Catholic OG, you were there. You know what I mean? I thank you for being good to me this morning. I thank you for coming with a better mind this morning than you did yesterday. But I think even you might have done your homework. You know what I'm saying? Micton, you're going to do it to me. Because that's that moderator talk. And I was trying to hold off on getting any more moderators until we got up to like at least 4,000 subscribers. But when you start talking like that on this channel, if you promote me, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to promote you too. So welcome to the Uncut Squad tribe. You are now a moderator. You got all the tools you need to do your job and to keep this channel afloat. You know what I mean? And Catholic OG, I do appreciate you. I do appreciate you. You know what I mean? I do appreciate you. Grand Risings tribe, says Ike Martin. You know, as we come in, hit that like button. Let's run it up early, y'all. I'm hoping this ain't another 12-hour stream, but if it is, let's break yesterday's record too. But we can't be selfish with hitting that like button, ladies and gentlemen. We have to hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Please and thank you, sincerely. But we have to hit that like button as we come in. If you're not hitting the like button, that means you don't like the content and it shouldn't be showing you here. You should be elsewhere. So the amount of people in here should actually match the likes, be close to the likes if you rock with me. Can we get 19 and 20? Can we get 2 more likes? Can we get 1 more like? 1 more. Can we make it 20? 1 more. Can we get number 20? Can we get number 20? Listen, Luciano, everyone says that. 2 things can be true. But what you don't understand is I'm telling you about Jesus. Jesus was not written in Ethiopia. It was not Jesus that they were praising. It was not Jesus. So yes, Christianity existed before Jesus. That would be accurate. That would be accurate. Andrew Wright, you're going to get kicked out, my man. You're going to get kicked out. All right, thank you, Cardenas. I can see you being a moderator too by the end of the day. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you. You know, let's get back on it.
It is a pagan astrological symbolism for the sun's kingdom during the age of Pisces. Also, Jesus' assumed birth date is essentially the start of this age. At Luke 22:10, when Jesus is asked by his disciples where the last Passover would be, Jesus replies, "Behold, when ye are entered into the city, there shall a man meet you, bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him into the house where he entereth in."
A pitcher of water. The Aquarius lady is man, woman, whatever it is, the symbol is pouring out a pitcher of water. Jesus said in Luke 22:10, behold, when ye are enter into the city, there shall a man meet you bearing a pitcher of water. The Aquarius symbol is bearing a pitcher of water. He's telling you you're about to move on from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. You have to know how to translate this stuff. And they knew what they was doing when they put it in here.
This scripture is by far one of the most revealing of all the astrological references. The man bearing the pitcher of water is Aquarius, the water bearer, who is always pictured as a man pouring out a pitcher of water. He represents the age after Pisces, and when the sun, God's son, leaves the age of Pisces, Jesus, it will go into the house of Aquarius, as Aquarius follows Pisces in the precession of the equinoxes. All Jesus is saying is that after the age of Pisces will come the age of Aquarius.
Simple.
Now, we have all heard about the end times and the end of the world. The cartoonish depictions in the book of Revelation aside, the main source of this idea comes from Matthew 28:20, where Jesus says, I will be with you even to the end of the world. However, in the King James Version, world is a mistranslation, among many mistranslations. The actual word being used is eon, which means age. I will be with you even to the end of the age, which is true, as Jesus' solar Piscean personification will end when the sun enters the age of Aquarius. The entire concept of end times and the end of the world is a misinterpreted astrological allegory. Let's tell that to the approximately one.
So it's a mythological allegory, meaning the world isn't really going to end. The age, the time of Jesus is going to end. And he said, follow me into the new age. I'll follow you into, meaning the age of Aquarius. And you wonder why the church is falling right now. You wonder why the church is being exposed right now. All of your pastors are getting exposed for messing with children and doing illegal things right now. Christianity is under attack. It's being exposed right now. We're moving into a different age, a different eon, people, a different time. This stuff was made up. They're going to keep moving with the constellations. They're going to keep moving. That's why there were no accounts at Jesus early on for like the first 300 years. Because that was a time they covered Babel, the bull, Taurus. Who slaughtered the bull? The same people that blow the ram's horn. Who has the ram for a zodiac? And then we moved into the age of Pisces. Pisces is the fish. What's coming after Pisces, Jesus and the fish, is Aquarius, the man pouring out the pitcher of water.
100 million people in America who believe the end of the world is coming. Furthermore, the character of Jesus being a literary and astrological hybrid is most explicitly a plagiarization of the Egyptian sun god Horus. For example, inscribed about 3,500 years ago on the walls at the Temple of Luxor in Egypt are images of the Annunciation, the miracle conception, the birth.
And now colonizers got y'all saying, well, Christianity existed in Egypt and in Africa first, but Jesus didn't. It was Horus. It was Horus, Osiris. Come on. We're talking about Jesus being a deity. Everybody's talking about what Jesus did for them. You wonder, have you ever wondered why no one's talking about what Horus did for them? Or Mithra? Or Osiris? Or Ganesh? Because these are times, different ages. It went old just like Jesus is going to go old. But early on, these Egyptians, here's an account right here that Egyptians were worshiping Horus, not Jesus. But the Bible tells y'all that Jesus was there even in the beginning. But these writings left in Egypt tells us that Jesus wasn't there. Maybe it was Horus at the time. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. It's like a Gnostic view of things. Oh, I didn't get a chance to read that. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. It's all good. But that's what's going on. That's what's going on. And we're so brainwashed. Oh, Jesus did this. Jesus did not do it. You did it. You were just brainwashed to give Jesus the credit. You were brainwashed to overlook yourself. And this is how they control you. This is how they keep their foot on your neck. No pun intended. May George Floyd rest in peace. But these are the confines that we have to break. As long as you're going to keep being forgiven and subscribing to this stuff, they're going to keep doing everything in the name of Jesus. Because you've been programmed to be forgiven. You've been programmed to believe that Jesus is coming back. You know, in Egypt, they believed Horus was coming back. So now in America, y'all believe Jesus is coming back. And when we're gone and resting eternally, they're going to convince somebody else that who's ever next in the age of Aquarius, the world is ending and this person is coming back. Y'all don't see that this is a game? And these pastors are collecting on this. There's been pastors in every generation. Yes, Amon Ra, the sun god. You're accurate. Man, listen. All right, congratulations, man. You're a moderator. You're a moderator. Congratulations, man. Congratulations, man. We ain't gonna play with you. We gonna stay with you, man. You come in here dropping that knowledge and telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? You fit into the tribe, man. You know what I'm saying? You fit into the tribe.
And the adoration of Horus. The images begin with Thoth announcing to the virgin Isis that she will conceive Horus. Then Neph, the Holy Ghost, impregnating the virgin. And then the virgin birth and the adoration.
These are all written on Egyptian walls, y'all. It doesn't say Jesus, but it's telling the story of that virgin and everything. I believe the Antichrist is being ushered in the world. It's gone so dark and evil. How can I put this, man? I'm just gonna exercise my Fifth Amendment on that one. All right, I'm gonna exercise my Fifth Amendment on that one.
This is exactly the story of Jesus' miracle conception. In fact, the literary similarities between the Egyptian religion and the Christian religion are staggering. And the plagiarism is continuous. The story of Noah and Noah's Ark is taken directly from tradition. The concept of the Great Flood is ubiquitous throughout the ancient world, with over 200 cited claims in different periods and times. However, one need look no further for a pre-Christian source than the Epic of Gilgamesh, written in 2600 BC. This story talks of a great flood commanded by God, an ark with saved animals upon it, and even the release and return of a dove. All
You're right, Johnny Walker.
With the biblical story, among many other similarities. And then there is the plagiarized story of Moses. Upon Moses' birth, it is said that he was placed in a reed basket and set adrift in a river in order to avoid infanticide. He was later rescued by a daughter of royalty and raised by her as a prince. This baby in a basket story was lifted directly from the myth of Sargon of Akkad of around 2250 BC. Sargon was born, placed in a reed basket in order to avoid infanticide, and set adrift in a river. He was in turn rescued and raised by Aki, a royal midwife. Furthermore, Moses is known as the lawgiver, the giver of the Ten Commandments, the Mosaic Law.
They're going to get into just how plagiarized this stuff is. So when you come in saying that this stuff existed in Egypt, Somalia, Ethiopia, all this stuff, realize, yes, everything was labeled Christianity. But Jesus was not in existence. So while you're using that for a substance for my argument, you're helping my argument. You're proving my point. The Bible's lying to you. Jesus said he was with you at the beginning of time. In the beginning where it says, come, let us make man in our image, God was not talking to Jesus. Maybe he was talking to Horus or Osiris at the time. Who knows? Who knows? But I know there's some holes in that Bible. There's some holes. For real, for real. King Fire say, hit that like button on the way. And share and subscribe. Get us in the algorithm. Please, please, please. You know what I mean? Please, please, please. All of these stories of Christianity and Jesus and all of his disciples and man, it was plagiarized, man. How many times I got this? The world's 16 crucified saviors, Christianity before Christ. So yes, Christianity existed well before Jesus Christ. But what you are omitting from your knowledge about the existence of Christianity is it wasn't Jesus. So if you admit that Christianity has been there and you are a Christian, why aren't you still praising Horus or Osiris? We always talk about the Democratic and Republican Party flip. Hell, it sounds like the prophets flipped in Christianity and nobody has a problem about it. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. Y'all just gonna flip prophets and it's not a problem as long as it's still called Christianity. We're gonna keep the name, but we're gonna switch prophets, no problem. We're just gonna keep calling it Christianity. That should have been your first sign that, hey, something's going on here. Something ain't right. But no, we don't think like that. If we use our common sense, then that makes us smart, and you don't want to do smart things. You don't want to do smart things. Let's go.
However, the idea of a law being passed from God to a prophet up on a mountain is also a very old motif. Moses is just another lawgiver in a long line of lawgivers in mythological history. In India, Manu was the great lawgiver. In Crete, Minos ascended Mount Dicta, where Zeus gave him the sacred laws. While in Egypt, there was Nesis, who carried stone tablets, and upon them the laws of God were written. Manu, Minos, Nesis, Moses. And as far as the Ten Commandments, they are taken outright from spell 125 in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. What the Book of the Dead phrased, I have not stolen, became thou shalt not steal. I have not killed, became thou shalt not kill. I have not told lies, became thou shalt not bear false witness, and so forth. In fact, the Egyptian religion is likely the primary foundational...
So, Luciano, it's you that don't know what you're talking about. Exactly, Johnny Walker just told you, you're not paying attention to the plagiarism. You're not paying attention. You don't know nothing. And we're ruffling your feathers right now. You just had to speak up and say something and just make yourself look, well, you're out of here now. You're out of here now. Holy Zoly Toly said, hell no, no. Get that out of here, son. Out of here, son.
Basis for the Judeo-Christian theology. Baptism, afterlife, final judgment, virgin birth, death and resurrection, crucifixion, the Ark of the Covenant, circumcision, saviors, Holy Communion, Great Flood, Easter, Christmas, Passover, and many, many more.
You know what words I didn't hear? And I discussed this yesterday. I didn't hear rapture, and I didn't hear Trinity. And you're not going to find it in the Bible either. So who added those things in? That wasn't Constantine. Who added the rapture and the Trinity to the biblical interpretation of Jesus Christ, because it's not in the Bible? Who added that? And what happened to Elijah? What happened to Elijah? I just want to know what happened to Elijah. I'm with you, King Fire. That's fire, my man. That's fire. You know what? While I'm at it, Where's my other phone? Where's my other phone? I made a note yesterday to go subscribe to your channel. You know? So I want to go subscribe to your channel, King Fire. King Fire, King Fire. King Fire, King Fire. Let's see, King Fire. What is it called? What is your name of your channel? King Fire. What's the name of your channel? King Fire 1148. Gotcha. All right, I just subscribed. My notification bell, I'm putting it on all. All right. That's you, King Fire. That's you. All right. Man of my word. Man of my word. I got you. I got you. We'll definitely go check you out. All right. What I said, that's going to hurt people's feelings. I don't want to hurt people's feelings. What I said, what I said, what I said.
Are all attributes of Egyptian ideas long predating Christianity and Judaism. Justin Martyr, one of the first Christian historians and defenders, wrote, "When we say that he, Jesus Christ, our teacher, was produced without sexual union, was crucified and died and rose again and ascended into heaven, we propound nothing different from what you believe regarding those who you esteem sons of Jupiter." In a different writing, Justin Martyr said, "He was born of a virgin. Accept this in common with what you believe of Perseus." It's obvious that Justin and other early Christians knew how similar Christianity was to the pagan religions. However, Justin had a solution. As far as he was concerned, the devil did it. The devil had the foresight to come before Christ and create his characteristics in the pagan world.
Fundamentalist Christianity, fascinating. These people actually believe the world is 12,000 years old. Swear to God. I actually asked one of these guys, okay, dinosaur fossils. He says, dinosaur fossils? God put those here to test our faith.
Hey, a Christian probably would tell you a dinosaur is put here to test their faith. I can see a Christian saying, "Oh yeah, so what do you say about the existence of dinosaurs? They was put here to test our faith." Boy, them Christians so damn program, boy. God, dog, man. Lord, this is, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday we studied how Jesus was written into divinity as God's son under the rule of Constantine, under the First Council of Nicaea, 325 AD. All right. Now today we're throwing in the second part of it, you know what I mean, which is astrology. And we are still having people doubt what's going on here. You've been duped. You've been brainwashed. This is control. Understand, if you have 8 billion people in the world and you could get at least 5 billion people, which is more than half of those 8 billion, to believe the same thing, and all you got to say is in God's name or in Jesus' name, how easy is it to control those people? How easy is it to operate off of 5 billion people's fear of God? They branded God. Remember how Nike branded Jordan and Jordan got smart and broke away from Nike and went and branded his own damn self? Now everybody loves Jordans more than Nikes. It's a brand. These pastors know this. These pastors know this. Okay, here we go, Andrew, right? Because we've been through this. And you don't want me to pull up God's rap sheet, okay? The greatest trick the devil ever did was convince you he didn't exist. He didn't murder any, oh, excuse me, he didn't unalive anyone, okay? And that he is Jesus, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. You think that's his greatest trick? You think that's the devil's greatest trick? Do you want to know what God did in the Bible? Huh? Want to know what God condoned in the Bible? Do you really want to know? You want to know what God did? Do you really want to know? If that's all Satan did, do you really want to know what God did? Let's take a stab at this. The Bible contains quite a number of broad, vague, and even contradictory statements. So whenever the Bible is used to justify an action, it must be placed in context. One such issue is the biblical position on slavery. Now, you have some that said it's true, some that said it's not true. Let's find out, because I'm going to take you to these verses, okay? Race relations, especially between whites and blacks, have long been a serious problem in the United States. Some Christians' interpretation of the Bible shares some of the blame. Some of the blame. Let's go. Let's go. Passages referencing and condoning slavery are common in the Old Testament. In one place we read, when a slave owner strikes a male or female slave with a rod and the slave dies immediately, the owner shall be punished. But if the slave survives a day or two, there is no punishment, for the slave is the owner's property. Exodus chapter 21, verses 20 through 21. You were saying? You were saying because God condoned that. I think that's a little worse than what the devil ever did in the Bible. If all he did was convince people he didn't exist, it didn't say he wasn't convicted of doing any of this either. So you're missing my point. God did it all. Okay, Andrew, since I know you Googled that because that's what comes up when I Google what was the worst thing the devil did in the Bible. So turn around and Google what is the worst thing God ever did in the Bible, Andrew. Come on, Andrew. Let's thoroughly do the research. Look up that rap sheet. It's about as long as Donald Trump's. Google what is the worst things God did in the Bible. Don't worry, the whole chat finna wait on this. And don't disappear, Andrew. Stay right here, Andrew. Stay right here. And I got some more receipts too. But watch this. I'm gonna show you how this works. I'm gonna show you what y'all do. This is the same way y'all pick and choose through the Bible. So you pick and choose to reveal that. Now pick and choose to Google what is the worst thing that God did in the Bible. Because I have it already printed out. I can read it whether you read it or not. You know what I mean? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, chat. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up. And if he don't get the information, y'all, don't worry. I'll go get it. I'll retrieve it. I'm going to show you my point. So if the devil's worst trick in the Bible, his greatest trick was to convince people that he did not exist and that he was King of Kings and Lord of Lords, Andrew Wright. No, because that's what comes up when you use Google. So you're lying. You are lying. You did use Google. You did use Google, liar. Because I can Google the same thing right now, and the same thing is going to come up, liar. You're lying. You're lying. If I Google what is the worst thing the devil did in the Bible, it's going to come up to what it's saying right now. You're lying. Now watch this. I'm going to Google it. I'm going to show y'all how to catch people in their lies, man. I'm going to show y'all how to catch people in their lies. Why Christians got to lie. If you're supposed to be honest being a Christian, why you got to lie? Now watch this. I'm going to go to Google. Watch this. What is the worst thing the devil did? According to Christian theology, the biblical interpretation, the worst thing the devil did is generally considered to be the temptation of humanity, which is convincing people that he did not exist. And that's what it says right here. Convincing people that he did not exist. But watch this. Watch what happens when I say, what is the worst thing God ever did in the Bible? Watch this. Watch this, y'all. Watch this, y'all. Watch this, y'all. Watch this, y'all. Rap sheet longer than Donald Trump. Rap sheet longer than Donald Trump. Rap sheet longer than Donald Trump. That's all the worst things God did in the Bible, y'all. And it keeps going. The worst things God did in the Bible, y'all. Huh? Let's look into it. Let's look into it. Based on common interpretations of biblical narratives and theological discussions regarding divine actions, several events in the Bible are frequently cited as the most destructive, cruel, or difficult to reconcile with benevolent deity. The worst thing is subjective, but top contenders based on scale, brutality, or perceived unfairness include the global flood. Genesis 6 through 9. God destroys nearly all humans and animals' life on earth, including children and infants, because of human wickedness. But I thought we was born with free will, though. I thought the Bible say, love thy neighbor as you love thyself, and thou shalt not unalive people. But God did this in the Bible. You can't debunk this. You be debunking Christianity and the Bible. All right? The destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. Genesis 19. God destroys entire cities with fire and brimstone. The incident is also known for the death of Lot's wife, who was turned into a pillar of salt for looking back. And we blame... Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. The 10th plague. Unaliving Egyptians' firstborn. Exodus 11 through 12. Exodus 11 and 12. God kills every firstborn son in Egypt, from the Pharaoh's son to the slaves and cattle, to force the release of the Israelites. Who did that? God did that. Who did that? God. That ain't no different from what they're doing right now, what they did in Venezuela. What they trying to do to Denmark, Greenland. What they doing? What they done did everywhere else. This ain't no different. The trials of Job. God allows Satan. Who allows Satan? God. Who? Whose permission? God. God allows Satan, the trials of Job, Job 1 and 2. God allows Satan to destroy Job's livelihood and unalive all of his children to settle a wager, leaving Job in profound suffering. That wasn't Satan, that was God. So if Satan's worst trick was to convince people that he didn't exist, he still didn't do what God did in that Bible. It sounds like God was Satan and Satan was God in the Bible. Because Satan was a lot more behaved than God was. All right? Now watch this. The slaughter of the 42 children. 2 Kings chapter 22 verses 23 through 24. After Elisha is mocked by a group of youths, often translated as children or boys, he curses them in the name of the Lord, and 2 bears maul 42 of them. 42. We hardly protect the children. God says, sick them bears on them, maul their ass. And y'all subscribing to that. Cardina says Solomon and Gomorrah, the Tower of Babel. Yeah. Come on, man. The slaughter of the innocents. Matthew chapter 2, verses 13 through 23. While technically executed by Herod, or Herod, however you say it, the context of the New Testament narrative involves the mass unaliving of children following Christ's birth. Oh, you remember when they ordered all children, I think ages 1 or 2, to be unalived until they found Jesus himself? You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. This stuff is out, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. There's no way to debunk that. There's no way to refute that. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. There's absolutely no way, ladies and gentlemen. We have to stand on the truth. So if we know better, we do better. You know, all we have to learn how to do is become spiritual people, be spiritual, and do spiritual things. Do kind things, man. Do kind things. It don't take a false religion to bring out the best of you. Genuineness and kindness, random acts of kindness. If you see someone needing something, help them. If someone lacks knowledge, help them. Someone can't feed themselves, help them. Be kind to your neighbors. Exercise that love. You don't have to put a title on what you do. This is not Christianity. It's the God in you. Either you're going to wake up a good human being or you're going to wake up a bad human being. Either you're going to exercise the God in you or you're going to exercise the offset balance of the evil in you, the Satan in you, as you were taught. That's all it is. I think people try to put religion ahead because they think if you know the truth, if you know greatness, you will lack humility and you will be excessive, the fear of free will. I think you may be onto something. Till we all come together, we'll never be almighty. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Kip 2 tripping, Zesty Andrew ran ice in the house. Hey, but it's true, man. It's true. We know that they feeding us BS. We see what this nation does. They claim that they have Christian values, but we know that Christians wouldn't do that. All the stuff I just read to you about what God did, we know that a true loving God wouldn't do that. We know that a true loving God would condone none of that. God would love all his creations. If God's number one rule is love, then why didn't God love his people enough not to unalive them? We have to ask these type of questions, man. And it's designed to hold us back. I can't believe that black people are still subscribed to this. And I read this earlier. Remember when I told y'all they always screw up Google? But I went on Google a while back and I Googled what is the real definition of the word Christian. And I tried to find it in front of you guys and I couldn't find it, remember? But watch this. I screenshotted it when I did find it. And here's what it says. You can see what is the real definition of the word Christian. Now, you're going to see Christos in there, follower of Christ. But if you read the last 2 lines, just read the last 2 lines, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know when y'all read the last 2 lines, because I'm going to read it for you. King Fire says, why would I give life to billions to send them to hell? Exactly. Barbaric Dragon, Grand Rising. Let me read this to you. So I Googled what is the real meaning of the word Christian. What comes up is follower of Christ. The Greek word Christianos, meaning follower of Christ, comes from the Christos, meaning anointed one, with an adjectival ending borrowed from the Latin to denote adhering to or even belonging to, as in slave ownership. What black people, what slaves we own? But I know some people who did own some slaves. The same one that made up that Christian religion and used it against us to maintain slaves. It's right there. It's right there. Y'all don't see it. It's right there. It's right there. I'm showing it to you. You can't call me a liar when I'm showing it to you. I don't know how to make a damn Google symbol. You don't see it? You don't see it? It's right there. What the hell we subscribing to it for? And then you factor that in with the slave ship named the Good Jesus. What the hell we subscribing to that for? Kip 234 says the fear of the tree will they don't like us acting truth, living autonomous. They fear that you understand reality in terms of the truth, prediction of all present and future. They fear the productivity generation. Exactly. Of knowledge and self-empowerment they have made us obey. Yeah, real talk. I just showed y'all to where it means come on, man. The Greek word Christian, all I did is Google what is the real meaning of the word Christian. You see what I Googled right there. You can see what I Googled. Do you see what came up? Read the last 2 lines. Read the last 2 lines, y'all. Hold on. Read the last 2 lines. It's jumping everywhere. I want to put it right in your face. Let me read it again. Follower of Christ. The Greek word Christianos, meaning follower of Christ, comes from Christos, meaning anointed one, with an adjectival ending borrowed from Latin to denote adhering to or even belonging to, as in slave ownership. And I got to argue with my own people about this racist religion, man. If that don't prove we are brainwashed and duped and manipulated and controlled, what slaves we own? What slaves do we own? Who owned the slaves? The same people that gave you that damn white Jesus. So no, I don't have that fear. I don't subscribe to that because I know the truth. Kip 234 says they have made us victims of our own, hold on, man. They have made us victims of our things. Imagine a white person out of nowhere just invading and lying to y'all about a figure that's so weak you won't even want to give your time because it's wicked. Exactly. Hey, we got to start writing with some periods and some exclamation points and some commas and stuff so we know how to read this stuff. You know, these run-on sentences is a killer. I mean, it's wicked. It's diabolical when you're trying to read this stuff. You know what I mean? So I need some punctuation, ladies and gentlemen. Let's act like we done been to school before, please. If we're not sure about the grammar, let's just insert something somewhere so I know where the sentence starts and where it ends and where it picks up again. Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. This text talk, y'all, it's hard to read. Text talk is hard to read. Let's get back into this.
I think God put you here to test my faith, dude.
The Bible is nothing more than an astrotheological literary hybrid, just like nearly all religious myths before it. In fact, the aspect of transference of one character's attributes to a new character can be found within the book itself. In the Old Testament, there is the story of Joseph. Joseph was a prototype for Jesus. Joseph was born of a miracle birth. Jesus was born of a miracle birth. Joseph was of 12 brothers. Jesus had 12 disciples. Joseph was sold for 20 pieces of silver. Jesus was sold for 30 pieces of silver. Brother Judah suggests the sale of Joseph. Disciple Judas suggests the sale of Jesus. Joseph began his work at the age of 30. Jesus began his work at the age of 30. The parallels go on and on. Furthermore, is there any non-biblical historical evidence of any person living with the name Jesus, the son of Mary, who traveled about with 12 followers, healing people and the like? There are numerous historians who lived in and around the Mediterranean, either during or soon after the assumed life of Jesus. How many of these historians document this figure? Not one. However, to be fair, that doesn't mean defenders of the historical Jesus haven't claimed the contrary. 4 historians are typically referenced to justify Jesus' existence. Pliny the Younger, Suetonius, and Tacitus are the first 3. Each one of their entries consists of only a few sentences at best, and only refer to Christus or the Christ, which in fact is not a name but a title. It means the anointed one. The 4th source is Josephus, and this source has been proven to be a forgery for hundreds of years. Sadly, it is still cited as truth. You'd think that a guy who rose from the dead and ascended into heaven for all eyes to see and performed the wealth of miracles acclaimed to him would have made it into the historical record. It didn't, because once the evidence is weighed, there are very high odds that the figure known as Jesus did not even exist.
The Christian religion is a parody on the worship of the sun, in which they put a man called Christ in the place of the sun and pay him the adoration originally paid
We
to
don't
the
want to be
sun.
unkind,
Thomas
but we want to
Paine.
be factual. We don't want to cause hurt feelings, but we want to be academically correct in what we understand and know to be true. Christianity just is not based on truth. We find that Christianity was in fact nothing more than a Roman story, developed politically.
The reality is, Jesus was the solar deity of the Gnostic Christian sect. And like all other pagan gods, he was a mythical figure. It was the political establishment that sought to historize the Jesus figure for social control. By 325 AD in Rome, Emperor Constantine convened the Council of Nicaea. It was during this meeting that the politically motivated Christian doctrines were established, and thus began a long history of Christian bloodshed and spiritual fraud. And for the next 1600 years, the Vatican maintained a political stranglehold on all of Europe, leading to such joyous periods as the Dark Ages, along with enlightening events such as the Crusades and the Inquisition. Christianity, along with all other theistic belief systems, is the fraud of the age. It serves to detach the species from the natural world, and likewise each other. It supports blind submission to authority. It reduces human responsibility to the effect that God controls everything, and in turn,
Religion can never reform mankind because religion is slavery. And that's what I'm reading on the screen right now. Yes, it causes division. Welcome to the reality of being black, melanin, and there it is. You nailed it, Kip, too. You nailed it, because that's exactly what it is. That's what it's designed to do. And we've been allowing that and the Democratic Party and some other things to do just that.
awful crimes can be justified in the name of divine pursuit. And most importantly, it empowers those who know the truth, but use the myth to manipulate and control societies. The religious myth is the most powerful device ever created and serves as the psychological soil upon which other myths can flourish.
There it is. There it is. I mean, what more do we need? What more do we need here? What more? You know, I have some things I have to do early today, so I'm going to end this live early. I'm pretty sure I'll be back. I thank y'all for being early birds. Get up to get the worm, to get the truth. You know what I'm saying? Get the day started, get your mind working, challenging things. You know what I mean? But the truth is out there. And we just have to do better at letting simple things divide us, because their initial agenda is to keep us divided and keep us at each other. They don't want us to see the truth. They're not going to point us in the right place to see the truth. And these pastors know the truth. The pastor nor the religion is going to point you in the right direction to be able to debunk it. But we've already debunked it on numerous occasions. I welcome those arguments with any scholars, any biblical, anything. I welcome the debate. I welcome the discussion. I welcome it. And I want you to stop taking money from people, pastors. Stop being crooks and taking money from people. Passing on a lie and a hustle. Pimps in the pulpit. Womanizers. Well-dressed men who articulate themselves well under false doctrines. All right. I appreciate everybody, man. We're going to wrap this up. You know, I know y'all got things to get to as well. You know, Kip too, everybody. I'll be back. I got some things to take care of, man. Look, y'all get your one-on-one. Get your one-on-one. Get your one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? With the real higher power, man. The most high. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you believe in spiritually, man. Let's get back to us and what we was doing before this lie. The lie should have quit when the internet hit this mythological BS, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all stay prayed up, stay blessed up, stay meditated up, stay protected, stay real, stay conscious, stay uncut, be inspired, be great, be you. Ashe. Cardinia says, hey, Mr. Uncut, I guess some mythological spirit guided me to your channel because your channel is fire. Thank you, my man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone. We will return. All right, go with grace. Be genuine, be respectful, and help someone who can't help themselves. You know, let us good spiritual people show them religious Christian people what it's really like to walk as a God. Ashe, and power to that, y'all. Power to that. Grand Risings, Nate. Grand Risings. We were just hopping off, my man. We'll be back shortly. Grand Risings to you, Nate. You know what I mean? All right. Salute and Ashe. Let's get them 25 likes, though, before we exit. We need one more like. Can we get one more like before we exit? Can we get one more like? Good morning, Nate. I'm sorry I lost you as a moderator, man. I don't know what that was yesterday, man. Like, brother, I rock with you. I support you. I support you. I ain't no love lost. I support you. I just don't. We all have bad days. I don't know what that was yesterday, but hey, we all have our days. You know what I mean? I support you. I rock with you. No love lost, brother, because you know the truth. You know what I'm saying? You walk conscious just like I do. And it's a hard walk. The balance is hard. You know what I'm saying? Right. So Nate, I rock with you, Nate. I'll talk to Gotti and we'll meet up and see if we can bring you back as a moderator. You know what I'm saying? When Gotti get on here, I'll call him later on or whatnot and touch on it. But man, you know what I mean? Like, ain't no love lost, bro. Ain't no love lost. You know, I'm more happy knowing that you won your spiritual battle yesterday. You came out positive, you know what I'm saying, in the midst of that spiritual warfare you were going through yesterday. So that exemplifies a robust spirit on your behalf. You know what I'm saying? You got your breakthrough, bro. We're all going through the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're all going through the same thing. But that's what the tribe is for, to uplift you, to speak that power. You know what I'm saying? We embrace you. You know what I'm saying? We embrace you, Nate. We embrace you, homie. You still tribe regardless. And we always gonna be here to empower our people, to empower everybody. Ain't no love lost, man. I'm gonna talk to just when you see me live again, you come live. I'm gonna try to get Gotti in. Listen, we all have our days, man. We all have our days. All right, Kip2 says, Nate, this tribe of American is love. This is empowerment. This home, Nate. Exactly. 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 And we got you too, brother. We got you too, Nate. You know what I mean? And you know what? Any man who can apologize and be accountable, you know what I mean, shall not be persecuted. Welcome back, Nate. Welcome back. That's the least I can do before I hop off, my man. Real recognize real, man. We all struggling to go through things, homie, but it's all love here. It's all love. You know what I mean? We gonna talk it how we walking and stand on it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to get out of here. You know what I mean? I'll be back. Ashe.